guys, welcome back to Random Lifestyle Vlog. So I did a thing. I did a little bit of a celebrity fragrance haul recently. Yeah, celebrity fragrances. I'm just as surprised as you are. I had a very good reason to do that though. So if you want to find out what the reason was, and also if you want to find out what the top 8 best celebrity fragrances in my personal opinion are, keep watching this video. So here's the fun fact about me. I have a lot of pet peeves, okay? So one of the recent ones is people who act very snobbish about fragrances. And I mean mostly people who are so much into niche fragrances that I kind of suggest that people who use like designer fragrances have like a worse taste or are not as sophisticated, or I don't know. I mean, obviously nobody will tell you that straight away, but you can pretty much read between the lines, and you know it's kind of implied in some of those people's opinions. Yeah, so this kind of irritates me. So one day I was just sitting there and thinking about like how much this irritates me, and I just realized I'm not that much different, to be honest. I act in a very similar way towards celebrity fragrances. Like for some reason, I just don't buy them. I kind of base it not on like a real knowledge, not on like testing and trying the fragrances and deciding I don't like them. It's just based on like mostly assumptions. Like, you know, I kind of feel that these fragrances are like, I mean, obviously they're affordable. They're easily accessible because you can buy them pretty much anywhere. And that's probably part of the reason why I don't really buy them. And this is snobbish, right? I mean, part of the reason is also the fact that these fragrances tend to be targeted at like a younger audience, like people in their like teenagers, early 20s. But still, I think the main reason behind me not buying celebrity fragrances is the fact that I'm being a little bit snobbish here. So I just got to this point when I'm actually the person who irritates me the most, and I don't want to be in this place. So I decided to challenge myself and find fragrances, celebrity fragrances that I'm going to like. But not just like they're right, but I'm just going to like properly like and use like all the time. So I did a thorough research and I decided to blind buy a couple of fragrances, and by the couple I mean like 7 fragrances. I already own one celebrity fragrance, but I decided to actually include this in this top 8 list because I think it deserves to be there. I have to tell you, I'm really impressed with both the fragrances I chose and my shopping skills. Honestly, these fragrances are good. So having said that, I'm just going to start with my list, and I'm going to start with the worst, or like, you know, they're not worst, they're just like my least favorite to the best ones. Okay, so let's start with position number 8, and this is going to be Rihanna Reb'l Fleur. So this was an easy choice for me. This is a fragrance that every YouTuber raves about for some reason. I mean, obviously there must be a reason for it, right? So very popular fragrance. Everybody seems to love it on YouTube. When I had a sneak peek on Fragrantica, what they say about it there, people seem to have a completely different experience with the fragrance. So I was a little bit afraid of how this is going to come out, but yeah, I have to tell you, this is a good scent, but there are 2 buts. Okay, so let's start with the packaging. This is the first but. As you can see, it's just not that amazing. It seems a little bit tacky, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I've seen worse. I've seen way worse. All right, so this is not that bad, but it has this like a tacky vibe to it. So yeah, not that amazing. Yeah, so, but that's not the most important thing about it, right? The other but is a little bit more important, and it's the opening. So the opening is just, I don't know how to describe it. It's like an overdose of fruity patchouli and tuberose. And as much as I love patchouli, I do prefer patchouli with like darker, heavier concoctions. I don't really like this bright, bubbly version of patchouli and tuberose. And it's like really in your face, this opening. It kind of, I mean, the good thing about it, and the only good thing about it in my personal opinion, is the fact that it kind of disappears after like 30-40 seconds maybe. And after, you know, this disappears, I actually get a really nice plum, peach, coconut and tuberose mix that's a little bit like exotic, a little bit tropical. It's not tropical like a tropical cocktail or something like that. It's like a tropical dark kind of scent. For me, this is a perfect summer evening or summer night scent. It's really nice. Just this opening, guys. I mean, I really wanted to start with something nice about this fragrance, but like, you know, obviously you usually start with the opening, and the opening is vile. I mean, I personally can't stand it, but it's just the opening. It just disappears, all right? So it's not that bad. I mean, maybe you can just hold your breath for 30 seconds and it will just be nice fragrance after that. So if you've tried that fragrance, please let me know what you think about it, what you think about the opening. It seems to me like it's not a problem for everybody, this opening. Maybe those people who actually like fruity patchouli, that maybe they're actually more happy with the opening. I don't know. For me, opening, no. The fragrance itself is really nice, sexy, kind of like nighttime fragrance. Many people say this is a good fragrance for like autumn and winter. I actually find it better for better suited for summer. So number 7 is the fragrance I already owned, the only fragrance I didn't rebuy in this fragrance haul, and this is the very famous Ariana Grande Cloud. And talking about the bad packaging, I mean, I don't like it, all right? I mean, obviously, this is Ariana Grande, it's her style, or her most of her fragrances just look like toys. For me, this is not very convincing. I mean, there was this like a cloud here that I actually chucked out because it was really, yeah, I just didn't like it. It helped a little bit, but still not my favorite packaging, I have to tell you. And the reason why this fragrance is on the position number 7 is quite personal. I just don't really like how it dries down on my skin. It becomes a little bit acidic. The fragrance itself is quite similar to a very famous Baccarat Rouge 540. I do get many similarities. It's not a dupe, it's not an identical fragrance, but there are many similarities, that's for sure. The lasting power is really good. I actually like it, just the dry down, quite acidic on my skin, but I found a solution for it. I just layer this with some oud fragrances, like simple oud fragrances, and it actually makes it dry down really lovely. But in general, as I said, the dry down on my skin quite acidic, and that's why it's going to be position 7 only. So number 6 is going to be Love by Sofia Vergara. And this is, I mean, finally we have a nice bottle. The bottle looks like this, so very classy, I would say, pretty bottle. It doesn't really scream celebrity fragrance all the way. It's more like a designer kind of type of bottle. And this fragrance, I really like it. The only reason why it's not higher is because a little bit too sweet, in my opinion. So this fragrance, it contains some coffee, and it's probably one of the reasons why so many people actually find it very similar to black opium. I personally don't really get that much of black opium here. For me, this is more like a Reb'l, but sweeter, more syrupy, and sexier, much sexier. This is like a very sexy, very sweet fragrance, a little bit too sweet for me, but not, I mean, I'm still going to wear it, I'm still going to use it, and I still find it extremely sexy, but I'll probably prefer if it was a little bit less sweet. But yeah, generally, I really like this fragrance, and this is not a fragrance for like a daytime, definitely nighttime type of scent. It has quite a good projection. Lasting power is alright. It's nothing like too spectacular, but it's okay. And yeah, I'm quite happy with this purchase, I have to tell you. So our number 5 is Fancy by Jessica Simpson. I'm actually quite surprised it's that high. I didn't really know if I should buy it or not. It seemed like, I mean, everybody seemed to like it, but I was a little bit afraid that this is going to be like a very like sweet, almost syrupy caramel fragrance. And boy, was I wrong about it. This is a really, really good fragrance, surprisingly good. I didn't really expect to like it so much, I have to tell you. So this is how the packaging looks, and what should I say? I mean, let me put it this way. This is not going to make a centerpiece of my vanity. It's just the way it is. I'm not really talking anymore about the packaging. I mean, obviously, you have to mention it, but yeah. So the most surprising thing about this fragrance is that it's unexpectedly like lightweight on my skin. It has this like fruity, almost like a little bit sour note to it. There is this caramel note, which is quite prominent, obviously, but it almost gives me a vibe of Hugo Boss, the scent Private Accord, this fragrance. It's a little bit like, you know, it's sweet, but it has this like a fruity lightness to it, or sourness. I don't know, but I really enjoy this one, and I have to tell you, I'm really impressed. I didn't expect it. So this was probably one of the biggest surprises here. So my number 4 is going to be a Miami Glow by J. Lo. I wasn't sure if I should get this fragrance or not, but I heard so many good things about it, and also it has been discontinued, so I decided to buy it now that you can actually still purchase it for a normal price. There is this like fragrance that has been discontinued, and you can only buy it, like it's super expensive now and it's really hard to get, which is Madonna Truth or Dare. I really wanted to get that one, but I couldn't really justify spending like £70 for a celebrity fragrance, however good it might be, and I couldn't really find it anywhere for a cheaper price. So if you know where I can actually buy it for a bit cheaper, because I would love to try it, please let me know. All right, so Miami Glow by J. Lo. So the packaging, I kind of like this. I kind of get this whole idea of like 90s like style, a bit old school, but it wouldn't really convince me to buy this fragrance. And I also think this box doesn't really describe the fragrance in a correct way, but that's just my opinion. The bottle is classic J. Lo. And we have like a bracelet here. I mean, you can use this bracelet or you can just leave it hanging there. I'll probably just leave it there. And the fragrance it was described as a tropical fragrance. So I am not a fan of tropical notes, okay? So I was a little bit iffy if I should get this or not, but this is like another surprise, really. This is like a very close to skin fragrance. It doesn't really have a massive sillage, so you're not going to kill people in your office if you wear this. But this is actually really, really interesting. So this fragrance has like a very natural scent. By natural, I mean it smells almost like your skin, but like with this tropical breeze on top. It's really, really interesting. Like warm skin, like when you just have been sunbathing for a whole day, you have like a bit of oil on your skin. So that type of skin, and then this tropical breeze there. It's really interesting fragrance. It's really good one, really close to skin. I am quite surprised I actually like it that much. I didn't expect it. I have actually 2 tropical fragrances in this collection, first of them being the Rihanna one, and both of them I actually have to tell you I quite like. So yeah, so that's my number 4. So we're moving on to my top 3, and here I honestly didn't know what order should I actually choose for them, because all these fragrances are really, really good. So in the end, I kind of decided to go with this one on position number 3, and this is Lady Gaga Eau de Gaga. So as you can see, the box doesn't look like a celebrity fragrance should or would. And the bottle, this is the bottle. It looks almost niche. Like I wouldn't really expect like a Lady Gaga fragrance to look like this. Gorgeous bottle, and that's something I wouldn't really be ashamed to put like in the front of my vanity. Just a standard. It's gorgeous, and it doesn't feel cheap at all. It doesn't really feel cheap. There's no like cheap plastic or anything here, so yeah, good job here. And the fragrance itself, okay, I just need to spray it to remember how it smells, because it's quite unique. I mean, it's very unique. It's not something you would actually expect from a celebrity fragrance. So this is definitely a unisex fragrance. It's citrusy, it's woody, and I personally don't wear citrusy woody fragrances because they are too masculine for me, or just they smell too masculine on my skin. But this one is actually really lovely. This one smells a little bit like Earl Grey to me. There is some like lime in it, there is some like slight floral notes, and pretty much wood, and a little bit of like leather notes. Smells a little bit like Earl Grey. It smells expensive. It smells really expensive. I think I tried a niche fragrance that was a little bit similar to that. So there, I mean, you can have like almost like a niche quality, like a niche type of fragrance in this really elegant, pretty bottle for, I don't know how much I paid for, like £12 maybe. Maybe even less. So that's actually amazing, and honestly something completely unexpected here. For some reason there's not much hype around this fragrance. I don't really get why. Maybe because it's more like an acquired taste. It's not like a crowd pleaser. You kind of have to like that type of fragrances to really appreciate it. But if you want to smell expensive for a fraction of a price, there you go. Number 2, and we have another Sofia Vergara, and this is Sofia. And this fragrance is just gorgeous. I mean, it's super sexy, but it's not as sexy as the Love one. I just dropped it. So this is how the bottle looks. Again, very pretty classic bottle. Yeah, nothing else to add. So this fragrance is sexy, but in a classy way. So if you compare these two, this one is super sexy, like, you know, extremely sexy, like nighttime, in your face sexy. This one is more like classy sexy. It reminds me a lot of Coco Chanel Mademoiselle, a lot. Many people actually say that. Many people actually find it like a mix between Coco Chanel, Mademoiselle, and La Vie Est Belle. I don't really get that much of La Vie Est Belle here. I get more of that fragrance from the Love one. So I really like that one, and it doesn't smell cheap at all. It actually smells quite expensive in my personal opinion too. And the very last fragrance is probably the cheapest of them all. I think I paid like £7 for it. I mean, unbelievable price. And this one is also not very popular among YouTubers for some reason. I don't know why too, because this one is, guys, amazing, really. This is Adam Levine, and if you look at the packaging, I mean, it doesn't really look super impressive, but once you just stitch the sleeve, it looks much better, right? It looks much better. So the bottle itself looks like this. Some people find it tacky. I personally find it alright. I mean, it's not amazing, it's alright. I've seen worse. I mean, this episode like contained like 3 bottles that are much worse than this in my personal opinion. It doesn't feel super cheap, but I would probably prefer like a classic bottle instead of that microphone kind of thing. This fragrance, guys, is something I did not expect, honestly. It smells like a niche fragrance. It's unbelievable. I mean, the lasting power is not of a niche fragrance, but like, what do you expect for like £6? But the scent is something that's really hard to describe. It's spicy, it's woody, it's like a warm aromatic fragrance, a little bit balsamic. It is a little bit powdery too, but the composition is lovely, guys. It's just like, you know, if you have an opportunity, just go and buy it. You won't lose much money on that, honestly, and this fragrance is just amazing. And probably one of the reasons why this fragrance is so good was a nose behind that fragrance. So this fragrance was created by Jan Vesnier, the same person who actually stands behind Tom Ford fragrances such as Velvet Orchid or Vanille Fatale, for example. So yeah, I mean, you couldn't expect anything less than this. But I have to tell you, just go and try it. Go and buy it. Like, not many people actually talk about it for some reason. I think this has been massively underrated. I'm just speechless. I don't really know what to tell you. It's gorgeous. So there you go. These are my top 8 celebrity fragrances. There are some proper gems in there, I have to tell you. So if you haven't tried them yet, just go and do that. Most of these fragrances are super cheap. I don't think Yeah, I'm pretty sure that all of them are cheap, but some of them are cheaper than the others. Like, you know, the £6 Adam Levine, that's crazy. But yeah, go and try them. Let me know what you think. If you own any of those fragrances, please let me know that in the comments below. If you tried any of them, I would love to hear your thoughts about these fragrances, and I would love to hear your thoughts about celebrity fragrances in general. I have to tell you, I am super impressed. I'm not going to be like a massive celebrity fragrance fan now, but I think some of them are really underappreciated, underrated, and there are some proper gems among celebrity fragrances. So it's probably worth considering them every now and again. Alright, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button below. And I think that's everything from me today. So take care, and I'm going to see you very soon. Bye!